Albert Einstein has often been attributed with saying, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend the first 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. Projects deliver strategies and solve problems too. For decades, technology problems have lived and died on their strength of their planning. Yet in today's fast moving world, plan has almost become an unwanted four-letter word. Many organizations attempt to implement improvisation and even chaos disguised as agility or rapid application development in name only. Others spread resources so thin across too many initiatives that none succeed as well as they could. Looking back over my own career, I've seen the difference planning makes and what happens when it's abandoned. The contrast is stark. I'm going to share two projects separated by about a decade that highlight how disciplined planning helped us succeed against the odds. In the early 1980s, corporations like IBM and Univac were still the mainframe giants. At the time, it typically took systems teams 3 to 5 years or more to produce a compiler for a programming language. So when I took on a project to finish where an R&D team had left off, the goal was ambitious. Create a compiler, a relocatable assembler, and a linkage editor for a family of computers powering the world's largest private telecommunication network. The challenge was clear. The only existing tool was a non-relocatable assembler, a relic from the 1960s. Development builds took more than 8 hours to complete. That meant low productivity and slow delivery of critical network products and services. By introducing what's known as relocatable code, we could cut times to minutes, dramatically increasing productivity. To prove the feasibility of the project, a small R&D team had already ported a portable Pascal compiler to our lab mainframe. The real work of the project was still ahead. We had to develop a code generator for a new computer family, build a relocatable assembler from scratch, modify a linkage editor from another project to put all that code together so it could execute, and then create supporting tools like macro generators and cross-reference utilities. We spent 3 months planning. During that time, we explored work approaches, estimated tasks, and defined a common object file format. The format enabled seamless communication between the code generator, assembler, and linkage editor, allowing each team member to focus on their specific assignments. We also discovered we could reuse part of a linkage editor developed by another group. We salvaged about 80% of the logic, which dramatically reduced the development effort. And there were other savings as well. Now, the development team was lean but focused. One developer built the assembler, one wrote the code generator, one modified the linkage editor, two others worked on supporting tools and miscellaneous routines. By month 9, we were already testing with live code in our lab. Just over a year from the start, the system was complete and every computer in the network ran on the new code. The result wasn't just speed, it was quality. Because we planned carefully, including a focus on unit and integration testing, only 5 bugs surfaced in the first 6 months of operation. The system stayed in productive use for over 12 years with only one small enhancement request. The secret to success was planning. Without those 3 upfront months, we never would have delivered a working system in a year or less. Fast forward a decade. I was working as a program manager responsible for several products and projects for a $10 to $20 million Unix rollout and infrastructure upgrade. My colleague handled procurement and hardware. My role was to equip 400 developers across 16 locations worldwide with their new workstations. That meant delivering the workstation, training every developer on basic services, providing specialized training for their areas of expertise, and building and sustaining a long-term in-house support model. Everything seemed on track until senior management realized they made a crucial oversight. The original rollout plan excluded an internal network. That decision quickly proved unworkable. Other divisions were approached for help, but their cost estimates, averaging over $1 million, far exceeded our expectations and budget. Suddenly, I was sitting in an emergency meeting. The workstations were due in 6 months, and we had no way to connect them. A consultant was introduced, and together we had about a week to come up with a viable plan. We got to work immediately, built a detailed work breakdown structure, sketched a basic network diagram for both facilities and field offices, drafted a line item budget that included hubs, routers, wiring, shielding for phone cables, building services for wire poles, and support from telephone and electrical teams. The total came to about $300,000, with more than a dozen people contributing effort at various points. Our most significant breakthrough was deceptively simple. Every office already had extra telephone and modem jacks that would double as LAN ports. This discovery was the most critical cost to save the entire project. Now, senior management did ask us to trim another $50,000. After review, we made 2 pragmatic changes. We used a less formal wiring diagram for a smaller building that had a short-term lease, and we learned the offices would be moved to another facility in less than a year. We also manufactured some of our cables in-house instead of purchasing everything pre-made. These adjustments enabled us to meet the revised budget without compromising reliability, ultimately hitting management's target. Now, careful management of each installation phase ensured that we met every deadline. The wiring was in place, lab workstations were connected, and even PCs and Macs were brought online before the Unix workstations arrived. Not only did we finish on time, but the savings also let us fund a T1 line to connect 2 of our key facilities together. Management had considered this optional, but with planning, we achieved it comfortably. Once again, the key was disciplined planning done quickly, but thoroughly. These 2 stories illustrate the value of planning and highlight how far many organizations have drifted from it. Over the years, I've seen companies dismiss planning as unnecessary and outdated. They have the "I wanted it yesterday" mindset. I once worked for a debt-funded company where the owner demanded everything immediately. The company, which was entirely debt-funded, was bankrupt within a year. Then there's the chase them around approach. Some teams claim they're practicing rapid application development or agile methods. In reality, Their project managers run from desk to desk, chasing status instead of guiding outcomes. And then there's the scattergun problem. Organizations start 20 projects with resources to deliver maybe only 5. The result, broken promises, poor quality, and frustrated clients. Agility doesn't mean abandoning planning. It means balancing flexibility with foresight. Planning remains the foundation that ensures the energy, creativity, and speed of development doesn't collapse into chaos. Now, it might be bold to say, but I've never managed a well-planned project that didn't finish on time and on budget. But the record speaks for itself. When you plan carefully, the odds of success are dramatically improved. The compiler project demonstrated that a 3-month effort focused on requirements, high-level design, and coordination could reduce a multi-year project to a single year. The Unix rollout network proved that even under extreme time and budget pressure, disciplined planning could deliver a complex infrastructure project. Too often, planning is treated as a waste of time, a luxury, or a bureaucratic burden. But the opposite is true. Planning is the key to speed, quality, and sustainability. If you're starting a project, don't shy away from the PLAN word. Embrace it. Make it a required step of your project method. In reality, you'll find that good planning doesn't slow you down, as I have time and again. It gets you across the finish line faster, cheaper, and with better results than you ever imagined possible. Thanks for watching, everyone. Again, if you're getting value from this content, please like, share, and consider subscribing. And I'll see you soon with another tip. Take care, everyone.